Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. It's your favorite girl Favor. If this is your first time of coming across my YouTube channel, thank you so much for being here. Please do not forget to click on the subscribe button, turn on your notification bell so that you'll be the first to be notified whenever I will turn void materials into a beautiful piece. And to my returning subscribers, thank you so much for your support. So for today, we're going to be learning how to cut and sew 2-in-1 Agbada BUBU. So if this is something that you're interested, you can see how it looks like. So without wasting much of your time, let's head to the tutorial proper. So guys, for today's tutorial, we're going to be making use of this African print and the Mikado silk, okay? So for the African print, I got 4 yards of this African print, okay? And because I do not want to join it, that is why I use 4 yards. And then this is Mikado silk. I got a yard of this for 5,000 naira, all right? And these are the 2 fabrics we're going to be using. So we're going to go ahead now and keep the Mikado silk aside and go straight to our African print. Now for this African print, we're going to go ahead and first of all identify the front of this African print, because this is a pure African print and is a pure cotton, okay? So after identifying this, now we'll go ahead and fold this into 4, but the folding, remember this yard is 4 yards we're working with, okay? Now we're going to pick the longest part of this African print and fold it into 2. Now you can easily fold this into 2 if you're working with a cloth that is not pattern. If your cloth is pattern, you cannot fold it this way. You have to fold it the way you fold to get your African print that is 45. Remember, if you're cutting an African print, is usually the highest length you get is 45 inches, okay? Now we're going to fold it like this. You can see what I'm talking about. The folding, you can see how I folded it. Now you can see where the printed name is looking, the black side, you see where it is facing, okay? That is what you're expected to have. So this is folded into 4. So I'm going to go ahead now and flip this in like so for us to be able to mark, because we're going to be marking directly on this African print. All right, so the basic bodies we're going to be working with today is going to be our shoulder, our neckline, our waistline, and then our biggest measurement, which is the hip. So whichever that is your hip biggest measurement is what we're going to be working with. So we're going to go ahead now and get our shoulder divided by 2. The shoulder I'm working with today is 16 inches. 16 divided by 2 will give us 8. That is what I just marked there. Now the neck depth we're going to be using is 2 inches. Now this 2 inches is going to be both for the front and the back neckline. All right, then the neck width we're going to be working with today is 3 inches. After getting the 3 inches, we'll go ahead and give it a C curve to make the neck depth like so. You can see the way I'm doing it. Please go ahead and connect yours. Then from this same point, we're going to go ahead and get our Agbada effect, okay? Now remember, my neck divided by 2, my shoulder divided by 2 will give us 8 inches, which are what I marked here. Now from this 8 inch, in order to also get the Agbada effect, we'll come in by 6 inches. This is the 8 inches our shoulder divided. Then from our shoulder, from here, we're going to go ahead now and mark extra 6 inches. This is just for us to be able to get our Agbada effect. You can see we mark our 6 inches, okay? Now because of this African print, this is where the length stops. I'm going to make use of the remaining length to serve as my sleeve length, okay? So you can do your sleeve length as much as you want if your fabric you're working with is long enough, or if it is by 60, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and mark my sleeve length. The sleeve length I marked now is 9 inches, okay? Then from where I've marked my sleeve length, I'm going to go ahead and come down by 1 inch. This 1 inch is going to be 7 as our shoulder slope. You can see it like so. You can see where I've marked our 1 inch. Then from here, we're going to go ahead now, starting from our neck width, we'll connect down to make our sleeve length, okay? You can see the sleeve where we're going to mark in our sleeve, where we'll mark our shoulder slope, okay? Now from where we've marked our shoulder slope. We're going to go ahead now to get our round sleeve. Okay, now from here, my round sleeve I'm going to be working with is 9, but because I'm going to be using 1 inch to hem this all round, I will add extra 1 inch, making it 10. I hope you understand. Okay, so at the end of the day, I marked 10 inch for my sleeve. So we're going to move this close now so that we can be able to see where we're marking. From our shoulder now, we're going to go ahead and get our waistline. Now the waistline I am working with is 15 inches. You can see where I placed my tape, okay, to get our waistline. The essence of this waistline is just for us to be able to get our measurements. Okay, now after marking our waistline, you can see the waistline I marked is 15 inches. From where we marked our waistline, we'll go ahead and take our biggest measurements. Now the biggest measurement I'm working with is my hip, which is 44 divided by 4 will give us 11. Okay, so whichever measurements you're going to use, that make sure it is the biggest measurement you're working with. Now from our measurements, we're going to add extra 6-inch allowance. Now the essence of this 6 allowance is to give it the ease and then to also help us get our Agbada effect. Okay, so after doing this now, I'm going to go ahead now and extend the round sleeve length like so, and then give it the BUBU curve and extend this curve down, just straight down to the full length. Now you can use your ruler to do this if you cannot use your free hand to achieve this. Now after doing this, we'll go ahead now and cut starting from our shoulder down to our neck and then down to our BUBU full length. Please, just wherever you see me cut, please go ahead and cut yours like that. You can see the way I'm cutting it. Please go ahead and cut yours like that. Okay, so guys, I've gone ahead now to cut this now. So for us to be able to go straight to the next phrase, we're going to go ahead now and separate these two together. Remember, we'll cut our front and our back together. So we're going to go ahead now and remove the back pattern like so, the way you see me remove it. We're going to go ahead and remove it and keep it aside so that we can work on the front pattern. Now we're going to go ahead to get our neck, our front neckline. Okay, now from our shoulder, I'm going to come down by 10 inches. This 10 inches is where I'm going to be leaving, the opening that is going to be at the front. That is where the opening is going to start from. So I'm going to go ahead now and mark 10 inches from our shoulder. We'll mark 10 inch. Now after marking 10 inch, we'll come from where we'll mark our 10 inch, we'll come in by 1 inch. You can see now this 1 inch is just for us to give it a very nice V curve, and then also use the 1 inch to extend it to open for us to open it at the front. Okay, so we're going to go ahead now and connect our neckline to from our shoulder to make our 10 inches that we marked. Then we'll now extend this 1 inch down to the full length. Now it's advisable for you to use your 1 inch and mark it down to the full length if you cannot cut a straight line. If you cannot, for beginners who cannot cut straight first, you cannot cut straight, it's advisable you use your 1 inch and extend it. So we're going to go ahead now and cut from our V-neck, and then you can see the 1 inch. You can see the way I gave it that 1 inch curve. Now this is where I'm talking about. If you cannot cut straight like so, I maintained 1 inch all the way down. Now if you cannot maintain, it's advisable for you to first of all mark your 1 inch before cutting it. So guys, I've gone ahead to cut now. You can see what it looks like, and now you can see where the V-neck is. You can see where it stops. It's so obvious there. So what we're going to do now is to join the front neckline, the front shoulder and the back shoulder together. Just pick one of the front and one of the front and join it together like so. So I will join it and bring it back for us to see. So guys, this is what it looks like. You can see what I'm talking about. I picked one of the front and one of the two fronts and join it together with the back, and I ironed and opened. I also went ahead to use 1 inch to fold the sleeve. Okay, you can see I use 1 inch just to fold in the sleeve to give it a nice stitch, a nice finishing at the sleeve. Okay, so we're going to go ahead now and attach our band. So I'm going to go ahead now and take the round circumference of the front. Remember the 1 inch that we used to open the front. So I'm going to start from the beginning of this fabric now and measure all the way around. You can see the way I'm measuring. This is 1 inch. And measure it all around it, and then whatever we have, that is the length of the band we're going to be cutting to use to close up this the front part. Okay, so after measuring it, I got 3 yards and 20 inches. So we're going to go ahead and pick our Mikado silk. Okay, now I'll pin it together just for us to be able to work on it, because it can be the fabric can be somehow sometimes. Okay, so we're going to be using 3-inch band. Now this is remember this is folded into 2, so I'm going to go ahead and measure 3-inch band all the way, and then I'll cut as many as I will cut and then join, so that I can be able to get up to the 3 yards and 20 inches that the front neck that we marked the measurement of the front give us. Okay, so I'll go ahead and cut. So guys, I've gone ahead now. So after cutting it, I joined it. You can see the joining I did here. I joined it here. I did the joining till I was able to get 3 yards and 20 inches. Now this is 1.5 after unfold. Do not forget it's unfold. This is 1.5 unfold. Now, before, what I usually do, if you've been following my YouTube channel, you know whenever we're turning a band, I also go ahead and fold in 1/2 inch. Okay, so how we're going to attach this now. You see where, not from where we have our 1/2 inch. No, it's not from where we have our 1/2 inch. Is where there's no 1/2 inch folding that we're going to use to sew in first, to sew it to the fabric first. Then we're going to use the 1/2 inch that we folded, I ironed inside, to use to cover up this rough edge after joining it together. I see where I'm pinning. After joining it together, we're going to use that other side. You can see it from here that the place we folded is what we're going to use to give this a nice closing after joining it. Okay, so we're going to go ahead, see what I'm saying, we're going to use it to close it like so. You can see what it looks like. So it's going to give you this neat stitch at the end. So I'll take it to the sewing machine now and do this round the neck, the front 9, and I'll bring it back for us to see. Okay, so guys, I've gone ahead now to use this Mikado that we used to fold to close up the front neckline. You can see how beautiful that turned out. So we're going to go ahead now and achieve our Agbada effect. Now, to achieve our Agbada effect is at the front of our neck, front of our fabric that we're going to do this. Now we'll break from our sleeve. You can see the way I opened the sleeve into 2. From where you folded your sleeve, will come in by 6 inches. Now I'm coming in by 6 inches because I want it to be closer. I want my Agbada effect to be close to the sleeve. Okay, now from that 6 inch, we'll now go ahead and mark. We'll go ahead and mark 5 inches. I hope you understand. First of all, you will mark 6 inches from your sleeve, from the beginning of your sleeve. Then from where you mark the 6 inch, you still take another 5 inches. From here you mark 6, and then you take another 5 inch. I hope you understand. In order to achieve the Agbada effect, just pay attention to what I'm doing, and you're going to achieve exactly what I am doing. Now we're going to pick from this edge and pick the other edge and bring it up like so. Please make sure that it is on the line where you join your sleeve. Make sure it is on that same point. You can see it from what I'm doing here. Okay, so we're going to go ahead now and pin this together. So this is where you're going to be stitching. Okay, you can stitch all the way down to the full length, but I don't want that. I'm just going to stitch where I just pinned. Now I'm going to go ahead and stitch it. Do not forget to pick your sleeve, put your sleeve inside, and just stitch on top of where you see the needle. Okay, all right, so I'm going to take this to the sewing machine now and stitch where I pinned, just the middle where I pinned. After stitching that, I'll bring it back for us to see what it looks like. Okay guys, I've gone ahead now to stitch the Agbada effect. You can see what it looks like. Remember, this Agbada effect can only be done at the front of the fabric, not the back. This was going to be done at the front. You can see what I'm saying where I say I wanted it to be closer to my sleeve. Now you can do yours at the middle of your shoulder. You can do that. Now the essence of this why I want mine to be closer to my shoulder is that I can do 2 times. I can achieve this Agbada effect twice. Okay, I also went ahead to do the same thing for the other sleeve. Now we're going to go ahead now and open this, flip this over to the wrong side of the fabric, okay, and then pick the edges of the sleeve together like so. You can see the way I picked this front, that's the front part on the front of the edge sleeve and the back, and fold it together like so, and go ahead and use 1 inch to close it from the sleeve all the way down to the full length. So I'll take this to the sewing machine and bring it back. So guys, you can see what this is looking like. It's looking so beautiful, I won't even lie. This is our Agbada effect. You can see the Agbada effect, and then this is our sleeve. Mine is so close to the sleeve, and this is how I want it to be. Okay, and also went ahead to add pockets to this Agbada effect. So you can add pockets if you want. If you don't want the pockets, you can leave it. Okay, so we're going to go ahead now and close this up like so. You can see what it looks like. Okay, so now the next thing, remember this is 2-in-1 Agbada BUBU that we're cutting. Now if you want it to serve as your afterwear, you can leave it open like this. But if you want to wear it as a normal Ankara fabric, like a normal BUBU, you can close it up, which is what we're going to do next. Now, so I have this press-in button. I have a silver and I have a black one. I was contemplating on what to use for it to not be visible, but at the end of the day I settled for the black because there's a lot of black design on this beautiful African print. So to achieve this, we're going to go from our shoulder and come down by 13 inches. Okay, this is where the opening is going to be on the clothes. This is where we're going to be attaching our pressing button. Now from that first 13 inches we mark, we'll come down by 4 inch. Now depending on how many closing you want yours to be, I would want it to have a little bit of opening from the down part. So I will just add just 4 pressing button starting from my neckline. I'll just mark 4. Okay, you see I've marked the first one, I marked the second one, the third one, and then this is the fourth one, and that is all I'm going to be using. That is where I'm going to be stopping. Okay, so we're going to go ahead now and attach our pressing button. I know you know how to. If you know how to attach your pressing button, just hold it together like so, and then use your needle and thread to attach this. It's your needle and thread you're going to use to attach this. If you do this with your sewing machine, it's definitely going to break your needle. So it's the hand tack we're going to be doing for this. So this is me tacking the first part of the pressing button. Okay, after tacking it like so, you can see how it looks like. Now remember to do invisible stitching for the one that is going to be lapping on top. For the one that is going to be lapping on top, please remember to do invisible stitches. If you don't know how to do the invisible stitches, make sure you use a matching thread to achieve this. You can see the way I'm attaching the invisible stitches. You can see the way I'm picking it from inside. Just pay attention to what I'm doing. That is how to achieve an invisible stitch, an invisible hand tag for your pressing button. Okay, so I'll go ahead now and do this, and then for us to see what the end result looks like. You can see that it actually looks invisible. You won't even know that there is a pressing button or anything has been attached to this. You can see what it looks like, and this looks actually beautiful, because for the fact that you cannot see this on the one that is going to be lapping, you can see what I'm talking about. There's no visible thread there. Okay, so guys, I'll go ahead now and attach the remaining ones. Okay, that is just all that is left for this BUBU to be complete, and then this is looking beautiful. I won't even lie, this African print is giving me all the beauty vibe I desire for this clothing. Okay guys, that's all. You can see our Agbada effect. Okay, and this is all for the cutting of these 2-in-1 Agbada bubu. Please do not forget to give this video a thumbs up. Please do not forget to subscribe, turn your notification bell, like, comment, so that this video can go viral for people that will be needing this, that will find this video, this tutorial helpful. Thank you so much for watching. See you on my next video.